Also, when all that happened, you realize the banks froze everything up. If you were to ask me, gracious Wendy, you realize I want you know, 5,000 bucks, you realize my lease is supported. And I'm going to be tossed out, it appears, as though Wendy Williams' family dramatization is getting more sultry consistently. And presently, even her child, Kevin Tracker is opposing his own father's crazy and grimy strategies to coerce additional money from his wiped-out ex. When fans began to trust that this man is long gone, he wormed his direction back to Wendy's life. And this time, even his child is taken care of with Kevin Saner's monstrosities. Greetings, everybody. And welcome back to Celeb Live Station. So in an absolutely unforeseen development, one more side ringed into Wendy V's Kevin Cash dramatization. And it's regardless Kevin Jur or Little Kev, as I will allude to him in this video. This young fellow has compelled to place his own life on hold to accompany his mother at this time of need. And evidently, he's gaining some significant experience, more privileged insights about his relational peculiarities, and acknowledges what a horrendous individual his own father is, and our children in Miami. So I must be quiet on the telephone with him, like a caring mother. The connection between Kevin Sr. and Little Kev have forever been nowhere near great. And on the off chance that you make an inquiry or two individuals would agree that Kevin Jur was a greater amount of his mom's child, and the pressure among him and his father has been developing for a really long time. Well, I envision Tracker Sr. wasn't the most cherishing and liberal father on the planet, since he liked to spend his cash on his escort, rather on his own child, his lofts down here in Miami, because of neglected lease, so I simply needed to check whether he was owed. Are you down here to assist him with lodging? Great Kevin Sr. made his primary concerns in order when he settled on a choice in his mind to rather support his child mom and completely dismiss the necessities of his own child. Yet what little Kev didn't anticipate finding out is that his father was anticipating taking from his ex, even after the separation, and insiders guarantee that now that Wendy's in clinic, engaging for her life, Kevin Tracker means to step in as her gatekeeper, which implies he would have the full command over the television diva's cash. Luckily, I have sufficient cash. I could not do anything by any means, and loosen up in my ravishing condo, while Wendy around 20 millions on her ledger as per total assets. And as we as a whole realize, Kevin Tracker has been sitting without cash since February 2022, since his provision was cut off, and past judgment undenied his request to continue it. The man has been continually mourning about his monetary troubles, saying that he would become penniless and destitute on the off chance that cash from Wendy doesn't come. And clearly, he's currently frantic to dive into Wendy's abundant resources, that he utilizes what is happening with her disease for his own potential benefit. And little Kev supposedly said his father is wanting to take from Wendy and spend her fortune somewhere else. And I could do without a criminal in the event that I drop a jewel on the floor. Kindly don't get it in my home. And put it in your pocket. There have been hypotheses that since Kevin's paramour, Sharina Hudson, is good and gone now, Tracker esteemed the possibility of reviving the sentiment with his ex. Yet, as little Kev says, this is father's plot to be back in Wendy's life deceptively and loot her again like he had been doing it for a considerable length of time. When he gave his courts and extravagance gifts, sell that gufty sack individuals burn through cash on the dumbest wreck, and afterward come and whine, how dare you? Obviously, plainly, Wendy was behind all monetary tasks, while these were hitched, and without her, Kevin Sr. immediately wasted his excess dimes on rich way of life. And presently he's watching out for Wendy and her sweet little gigs. And as little Kev accepts his father needs to adapt Wendy's sickness by behaving like her delegate or maker, many individuals are happy that Lil Kev is safeguarding his mother from this rope. As one individual remarked, I'm happy he approached quiet assisted things, with preferring this flourish now that he said something. I trust somebody can step in. And another client added, great for Kevin Jur, putting us out there about his mom, Wendy Williams' circumstance, is giving me Whitney Houston energies. I have an inclination everything won't end well with Wendy Williams. Well, no big surprise Kevin Tracker is searching for his way back into Wendy's life. Since being debilitated and unfit to give a discourse, Wendy is even more important and attractive than him. And his delivering ability islands, yet this time, every one of his expectations for diving into Wendy's pockets will be broken into pieces since little Kev is approaching to safeguard his mother's well-deserved abundance. I've been working 33 years and just been jobless for about 14 days. And I don't regret being self-centered or modest. The connection among father and child has been a long way from ideal for quite a while, so it's no big surprise little Kev is picking his mother's side in this story. Particularly assuming you recollect that episode when Lil Kev, in a real sense, punched his own father and got captured for that unexpected eruption of brutality. When we was 18 years of age, Kevinger got into a battle with his father in the parking garage of a store close to his family home over Kevin Sr.'s solicitation for spousal help in his separation from Williams. Clearly in those days, this young fellow understood that his dad is essentially taking from the television diva to give sufficient degree of extravagance to his new family. And it seems like in his debate little Kev reminded his father how eager he was, and the way in which little he was providing for his own child. You don't require as much. It doesn't matter at all to me the amount we've been honored with. Yes, we really buckled down. We both have endeavored to accommodate you. And you got favor kid. Yet in those days, Kevin Sr. definitely realized he won't make it monetarily, and the series of his battles possibly started when he scorched the legal documents. And it seems like this man was finished with his old family a long while back, since he wasn't assisting Wendy with paying for a little Kev's schooling and condo. And besides, Kevin had sufficient dauntlessness to fault his ex for ruining their child. She clearly went way well beyond, due to her and her security gives that she needs to buy this condo, as though paying $70 month-to-month lease was an excessive lot for Mogul Television, who was getting around $55,000 for each episode of her Wendy Williams show. For a modest man like Kevin Tracker, this probably been a powerful cost, and he was continually reminding his child to be moderate with costs or even man up and get a new line of work. And obviously, this is precisely exact thing little Kev is currently telling his dad too. Yet Kevin Sr. has his own arrangements, and it seems as they incorporate no legitimate work, except for what else do you anticipate from an about-not man having the option to scratch an adequate number of currencies to cover his bills. Recall Kevin's dishonorable explanations when he said my vehicle protection hasn't been paid because of not getting month-to-month severance installments. I'm behind on visa installments. Since I have no cash since the severance installments were suspended, this man is so negligible to his center that he can't ghost residing without Wendy's cash, even in the center of separation. This man was battling for each dime and each thing they had bought together like a genuine hawker. I rest erring on the side of a genuinely reasonable individual. I come from Brownsville, Brooklyn. You know, so as a truly common-sense individual, Kevin was safeguarding his possessions, and surprisingly, attempted to keep Wendy from picking her stuff from their family house after the separation in 2019. After she appeared unannounced at their Livingston home with a moving medication, he called the police expecting to keep her from removing everything. As per her report, Wendy's moving team started pressing effects to be moved to another area, yet Tracker requested the things to be let be, and the trucking organization leave, and dislike Wendy came to burglarize him, or something, in light of the fact that, as it was expressed by witnesses, all that she wanted was her clothing individual compositions and extra room decorations. The television diva needed this separation cycle to go as flawlessly as conceivable on the grounds that she wasn't that frantic to keep knickknacks or towels. This occurs in life, this stuff occurs. And it's okay, I've actually got an extremely full life, that I truly got through kindly. Don't make me cry, as it was subsequently revealed Mr. and Mrs. Tracker commonly consented to these terms and further concurred that the leftover decorations were to be undisturbed, stocked, and esteemed, sometime in the not-too-distant future. And think about who was there to observe this bad scene, little Kev. And since he is currently near his mother, he is figuring out more proof of the terrible exercises of his father, something he hadn't known previously. And through his unadulterated frightfulness, he comprehends how much his mother was stowing away from him, presumably attempting to safeguard his prosperity, and let him center around review and his own life. That is the reason she was lying, that things were great between them, while as a matter of fact, Kevin was contriving against his ex and would have liked to get her fair game yet. Each of the three of us presently, in the wake of losing all that Kevin Tracker searching for new open doors in his hopeless life. And it appears as though he is truly depending on Wendy and her sympathy. How about we cross our fingers with the expectation that Wendy will exercise authority over him in the house in light of the fact that many fans are really worried about the television diva's psychological and actual state. And who knows whether Kevin Sr. in some way fools her into reuniting it could be much more harming for Wendy's life than all that she had encountered before. Evidently, there isn't an individual who doesn't wish him to prevail in that frame of mind. As one individual remarked, Kevin is a canine, he merited what he gets and ought to quit griping. And another client added, Kevin Karma is thumping on the entryway. She isn't come by locks and fastens. Now I got to hustle, my popcorn is prepared. And I would rather not miss anything. Well, Kevin is his very own maker future. And there's not a solitary silver lining there, if you were to ask me. And what is your take on this, folks? Well,